Hey, this is Suddes.
And this is Nikki.
And this is We Ramble. We're doing Satam.
Yeah, our first Satam, and this is on the pilot.
Yeah.
Heads or tails, yeah.
One of my favourite Sonic cartoons is.
Yeah, well, this is the one where... This is the gold standard that we all have to meet up now, apparently. Which is funny, because I've been rewatching these recently, and I'm planning to do something with it, but I will say that there will be some views that some of you may or may not like.
Well, I think that's Satam in a nutshell.
Yeah, yeah. Still though, actually the funny thing is I do remember seeing this episode first, the pilot. I remember actually turning on the TV and catching the last few minutes of it.
Well, to me, I never caught Satam in its syndication. I wasn't aware that it aired in the UK, to be honest. I remember catching Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog every morning religiously at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
This one didn't exist to me until, I'd say, 2000, 2001, when good old Real Play came about. And
when the internet, where we could get something of this again.
Buffering episodes of this for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, remember that? Remember when we had to wait forever?
Buffering, Jesus.
Yeah. There's actually a website that has the original script of this pilot actually online, so you can go and read this. Although for some reason, if you go in the gallery, it's all in the wrong order.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, so I look at page 1 and then jump to page 13. So a bit bizarre.
It's not on the DVD extras as well.
Well, here's the thing, because all right, we're talking for the UK, right? So we got the DVDs after a certain amount of time, and it says it has it on, but in reality, people found out it's a fucking lie.
Yeah.
So
did the Americans get it?
Yeah, they got it.
Yeah,
typical.
I fancy a box art, custom box art.
Yeah, but we can talk about that as we go through the series.
Charlie Adler and Jim Cummings, everyone.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah. There's a few things you'll notice in this pilot that are a little different from the series. Well, obviously art style's a little different.
Oh, definitely. It's got almost a dumb blue feel to it.
To be fair, what's ironic actually as well is that some people might have noticed again on DVD. There's the unmade intro, that like a storyboard animatic, which somebody found out they did make it, and someone just like funny ways they did. Well, this is something you don't see them ever do again. This sort of thing.
Swap lots of personality.
Yeah, there's that. Haha, you suffer. Right, David.
As is the pilot, there's always little things to change, but...
Yeah. But yeah, there was an intro probably made for the pilot that people didn't assume they never made, but for years on the internet there were cells of it, and there is a little video clip of it on YouTube that does exist.
Is this similar to the scenario with Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes,
where the original one's played
there's
within
a pilot.
an episode?
Yeah, there's like pilot scenes within the episode.
Kind of makes Sonic Underground officially the most boring one in terms of bonus
That depends really.
It's always annoyed me, the colour of his shoes. Just
yeah. You can tell we have a Sonic fan here because he's like,
fix it, wrong! Fix it! Spin dashing in a cartoon.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I will say about this pilot is that this is still this is a bit more still with that adventure vibe. There's still a bit more bouncy silliness involved with it. You know, it's not quite... You can tell they were still trying to figure out what they wanted to do with this show.
Yeah, the characters are all very loosely animated.
Yeah, and then, him popping up with the guitar in the spotlight suddenly, I think that's something Avengers would do. Right, that's a normal thing. So, in this, it's like, did that really happen?
That's how you introduce your signature line to the series. Check out his 3-string guitar, that's a new one. It's almost as good as his 9-string in...
I don't know, well, you should see the Turtles when they went until they had a 3-string guitar.
What is wrong with these anthropomorphic characters?
There we go. Look at that, arm action.
I eat fish because walrus.
Yeah.
The Buzz Bomber's got quite a menacing redesign.
Yeah, and this is their only appearance as well. So get used to it, kids, because this is the only time you ever see them.
Which don't you think they almost kind of, when they've brought them back in Generations and things like that, the sort of design almost went a bit similar towards this than toward the original ones?
Maybe. Well, again, I don't know whether the Sonic team had any well, they're aware of these shows. I think that was interesting when they made X. People saying, "Did you know about the other three?" And they said they knew about them, but they didn't have any involvement with them. So it could be coincidence.
It's kind of like watching your son being taken away to another foster family. And just like, yeah, I'm interested in his future, but I don't really want to see it at hand. It's just too painful.
We're going to go with this. That's a pretty deep subject for this show.
Wow.
Oh well. That's what we normally do.
Everyone claims Satam is so deep.
Well, if you judge it by this one pilot, you wouldn't think so, would you?
No.
So, well, that's the beauty of pilots. You can look back and go, yeah, that was not going down that direction.
Where did Eggman nick the Technodrome eye from?
I think that's meant to be like the other version of the Stovebot cameras they have, which doesn't really help because you can fucking
Very
see.
stealthy.
Yeah, very obtuse.
The spikes help it hide in fences.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wake up call, guys. The Hedgehog has landed. Wow, how fast you can go, Sonic?
Kids will get that, I suppose.
Yeah.
Aw, no way. Scooting and rolling.
Oh, but
Can I ride with you, Sonic?
He sounds like them hillbilly types from Oddworld. Hey,
surprising.
stranger!
This thing he changes quite a lot throughout the series as well.
Yeah, I'm not fond on his second design at all.
Not a lot of
I prefer
people
this
are.
one.
I mean, there are change. I mean, one change in the series, in the show, is actually Sonic's personality is a little toned down. I think.
Yeah.
You know, because in that he was more like in Adventures, he's like Felix the Cat, he's this kind of goofy, off the wall, you know, much more overplayed character. As this, there's a bit more. You have the side characters for him to bounce off with, and it's kind of pushed him down a little bit more.
But he's still that sort of back talking 90s.
Oh yeah, still that's still there. I mean,
until he starts crying like a pussy, but let's get to that later.
these two. This was for a relationship years to come.
Just 90s stereotype. And we need the foreign one in there. We need this X character in there. We need to go.
Yeah.
Oh, just.
I always, again, looking back at this, I'm always surprised how big Nicole was in this pilot. I mean, we're so used to her just being like the sort of Game Boy SP type design, and here she is as every 90s computer, pretty much.
Infinite science, Sally.
Yeah.
Cringe. I am stuck in Le Pepe Le Pupos.
I also respect Clusa more. I mean, how many times has he mispronounced stuff? It's like, you know, a few. Oh, you mean a fool? It's like, that is what they said. It's like, it's that type of joke. Even though she didn't say anything then. Again, if you rewatch these, you will spot a lot of animation errors, and, well, you can go on Tumblr to find them out, because there is one that just does it.
Sometimes being ignorant to mistakes as a child, they look so much cooler.
I know, it's like, you just, in your head it seems all brilliant and amazing, which is probably what showmakers would like it to be, rather than the reality of, yeah, there's faults in it, but we can't go back and change it.
Pink or brown, Sally?
Yeah.
Which one's your favourite?
Well, really, there's Series 1 and Series 2 look.
Oh yeah, true.
Which is basically gives the pupils and the jacket, which, ironically, I would say that makes it even more sexual. Which, if you're on the internet, you fucking know this.
Yeah, Satam is infamous for, in quite a lot of people's eyes, starting the furry fandom.
Yeah, as the NC has pointed out.
Cheers, NC. Cheers, Doug.
And one thing I do like about the show, even in that little bit we just passed by with them sort of go, what about yesterday, there is a great repertoire between Sonic and Sally. There's a nice relationship. And it's more like, it goes from, it's like they're friends but rivals, but kind of relying each other, yeah.
There's definitely a lot more character in this series than, let's say, Sonic X or Underground.
Well, there's a lot more in there, but there's a different story. And again, it's worth mentioning, Tails in this series is not really used a lot. In fact, even this pilot, I mean, ironically, there's a lot of him, but afterwards, he's really not used that often.
Yeah, he's just a child character.
I mean, he's really played more as a real kid character. I mean, he was in Adventures, but this one's more like they're looking after him like a surrogate family.
I mean, to mention that, he's like, was it 3.5, 4.5 in one of the early
9?
episodes or something?
I don't know. I would say like 9 years old at this point.
No, I'm talking about the ARSH one where he goes in the ball pit or
Yeah,
something. at the
don't hit the
casino,
tree tails, you get hit by the scout. Bonk! Yeah. The larch.
Judge of the jungle.
Yeah, don't mess with the larch tails. Python has taught us that rule.
How come? Because the big city is crawling with SWAT bots. They're all over the place, just waiting for you to come to town so they can
Or walking in single file.
Yeah, we'll see that. Yeah, we'll see that in a minute. It's also where Gilla White was still a kid at this point. Because yeah, it was because apparently he did this in Adventures and he was still like, I don't know, must have been still like in his early teens at this point. Which you wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, us being the UK, you know, we didn't really know who the Gilla White was at all. I mean, hell, we didn't even know he was black. I mean, that even he admits saying that, you know, when I did something, I didn't make him any nationality. It was just a voice. So there you go.
That just shows great character to the acting.
Yeah. So. Here we go, dystopian future.
Tron and Blade Runner all in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Here's a funny little fact. Some for you people. Ridley Scott based Blade Runner's look on basically on Middlesbrough. Essentially, yeah, I'm not joking. When he literally said he basically one evening looked at Middlesbrough like a dark, wet night, and basically said, "Yeah, that's my view of dystopian future." So, which I like to maintain. I actually went to Teesside, Middlesbrough, for 3 years, and I will say it has gotten better since then. So, but then, oh, here we go. Oh, we-oh. Yeah. Yeah.
I like the almost police-like design on those hover vehicles.
Yeah, again, the only
ironic.
Yeah, again, only seen in this pilot. And speaking of which,
oh dear.
yeah, we get this little thing that goes nowhere afterwards.
So began the many comic designs of get X character and add a mustache or a quiff to it. And
I mean, the dog. I mean, like the.
Oh, Mutski.
Yeah, you know, it's like mentioned only in this pilot and never again. So, which again, it's kind of odd they went to the trouble of giving Sonic a dog, and then just like, no, we don't need the dog.
Well, it just crosses those fine lines as what characters are anthropomorphic and which aren't. I mean, it's essentially another Pluto scenario all over again.
If I'm honest, I'm kind of glad they didn't use it in the end because I think it would have been a bit too. No, not dark. There's a bit daft. There's a difference.
You gotta take control. Let the dog know who's in charge. Mutski, have you seen Uncle Chuck hanging out?
We get to see him at least. Dear.
You know what I'm gonna do, Mutski? Change you back to a real dog.
And I'm also going to star in Sonic Extreme.
That's a squish head. Like I said, there's still, like I said, the animation here, like even look at him, it's like wobbling, bubbling, it's like...
It's very loosey-goosey, it's almost like in Ren and Stimpy vein, where it just doesn't matter what size it's
I know, especially for what ended up being a slightly more, I would say more tonally and structurally semi-serious show this was ended up being.
Yeah, it's a slightly big environmental message, really.
Yeah, there's a, well, subtle. Well, subtle on them, because let's be fair, the 90s weren't fucking subtle with that.
It wasn't exactly Fern Gully, but...
Well, it was that and bloody Captain fucking Planet.
Captain
Planet! Thank you. Thank you, Ted Turner. Yeah, that's definitely his cocky personality.
Tails could have just stayed at home.
This bit never makes sense. You just watch it. Surely you would have put like a sound effect of something creaking open and falling off, rather than just like they're suddenly like standing up and then
Maybe we were travelling along a vent and fell down.
Yeah, but they weren't moving. That's the thing. They were standing right where they were, and then they just decided to fall.
No, they were moving. You just couldn't see the background.
We saw their eyes. Yeah, that's a big clue.
Eggman stank.
Oh dear.
Looks like Luke is it.
It might as well be. Or Tango. That's what you needed. You needed an orange man to run around and slapping or kissing you. That would have solved all your problems. Oh, here comes something that's very adventurous, this little bit here. This little bit. That! Look at that, that is so...
Wile E. Coyote. Yeah.
That is so Adventures Robotnik. You know. Oh
It
dear.
only works if it slightly, looks like the character I'm
Every
trying to
shot.
kill.
Yeah. Oh dear. That break. Now we're back.
Ali's still laughing after 15 minutes.
Would be in the US. It was taking that bloody long. Oh dear. Actually, speaking of that Adventures pilot, Jim Cummings was the voice of Eggman in that, actually.
Yeah.
So whether or not they just tried him for that, didn't think it worked, and then used the blues singer instead. And then maybe afterwards, when they were developing this, they felt like, let's get that other guy we used.
Yeah, because maybe we were still deciding which one was going to be serious and which one was.
No, I think they were just one that's like, what do we do with this? It's like, because the story goes that they had like what? They went into went into one of their offices and they had like 4 screenshots of the first level and said, make a show out of that. And it's like, okay, one of them was like, sod it, this is what the hell we want, and the other one was like, let's rethink this. It was around here actually, I remember catching this episode for the first time. So these few minutes. And this was back on, But actually, how did you first, because you said you didn't watch it when it first came out back in the 90s, did you?
No, I was down to fan sites and stuff uploading links back in the day when fan sites were a massive thing and there weren't just 2 core Sonic sites to use, really.
Yeah.
I think it was something to do with Sonic HQ and Tails World or crap like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Basically, people used to just upload them as
best they could.
real media files, and you just have to buffer them on a program.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I do remember, because originally this was on Channel 4 when it came out, and then it was on the Children's Channel, or TCC, years later.
Oh yeah.
So that's how I catched it. And the weird thing is, as you said, when you watched Adventures, they would often credit it as just Sonic the Hedgehog, and it would be a mix. Sometimes it would just show an episode of Adventures on Sat AM, and you could never tell which one they were ever going to show.
Oh, was this on that channel that became popular later on?
No, this was like years earlier than that.
Oh, right, no.
I mean, this is where they showed Earthworm Jim first as well.
Oh, I never caught that in syndication either. I managed to finally watch it when it came to Nickelodeon, well, Nicktoons over here, which, again, same problem with network differences, but that might have been 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't have cable here in the UK, you were pretty much
Maybe, yeah, if you didn't have Sky, you pretty much had nothing. You only had, like, the four, what were 4 channels.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Only 2 of them ever did kids stuff.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, even when I catched it on TCC, as soon as it was on, it disappeared afterwards. Because this is, I think that's part of the reason why this show has become a cult favourite, because it was on and then it was off, and we didn't hear anything from it for years. And for a while, I remember when it went off, we'll probably get more into this as we go on, but when it disappeared, honestly, I used to ask people, did they ever watch this one? And it was almost like you just made it up. It's like, do you remember that version? Yeah, Sonic, Sonic was in this forest and he had this sort of female lead, Rock that was more menacing. It's like, I don't really remember. It was like if somebody looked at you and said, did you just make this all up? Are you sure?
I was pretty sure it was an American exclusive for years, but
Yeah.
clearly not.
Yeah.
Here I am, slughead. Give me your best shot.
So here we go. Here comes their adventure missile.
Super Scratch and Sniff Squad.
Yeah, exactly. Supersonic Search and Smash Squad. Can't believe I still remember that for all these fucking years. Like I said, this sort of stuff he does is toned down a lot more.
Definitely.
Like, cocky attitude. But, I mean, this, like, fucking, it bends, it looks, you know, this is all adventure stuff.
Definitely.
Like I said, so clearly someone looked at this and felt like, no, tone this down, like, right bloody
Just
down.
in two versions of the same show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, ironically, these were on almost the same time in the US.
Oh, yeah, wasn't this one done on Saturday morning?
Well, hence Sat AM.
And then you got the other one was weekdays, wasn't it?
Yeah. So,
That's a lot of Sonic to take in on a week.
I know, well, it was definitely the... Well, this was the time when Sonic the Hedgehog was becoming the big thing, back in the mid-90s. Wow, that's bad. I realise how bad that acting is. Oh dear. There's a good reason they didn't bring these back, because they just treated them like scratch and grab, as a whacking, smacking. Even this is just bugger off. It just decided, fuck it, we're off.
Woody Woodpecker makes a carry on with it.
Yeah, yeah. The other woodland creatures you don't see that often. Oh dear. A little insight to their abusive relationship.
Yeah, abusive.
Yeah, which we'll get to more in the series, because trust me, oh boy, they do get abusive, those two.
Thanks. What about yesterday? What about it?
But I do like this little bit at the end with them just somewhat playfully arguing with each other about.
It works.
Yeah, like I said, that's the weird thing when you think about the show. It's mainly about these two, more than Sonic and
It
Tails.
looks like the skipping over.
Well, at this point, you wouldn't see. You don't. Yeah, and they just stop animating them halfway through. Yeah.
Cue the solos.
Yeah.
Oh, this one still has vocals on it.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is a version with it's just the instrumental one. But yeah, after all these years, you can. Like I said, you know, even for a pilot, it's still fun to watch. Although clearly it's not what the show would have ended up being.
Definitely.
I'm kind of happy it didn't end up like that.
Oh yeah. I couldn't have done with two adventures or something.
Yeah, we couldn't have done with a goofy one and a not so goofy one.
No,
Yeah, definitely. So, thank you, Deke.
That'll teach you to team up with alien overlords, you robo-trash!